We're excited to be back this week with part 2 of the episode with Rachel Debacker.
The Coal Guys isn't your average real estate podcast.
Our mission is to give buyers and sellers the power of knowledge through their real estate transactions.
We do this by helping first-time homebuyers realize that there are more expenses that come with owning a home than just the loan.
We also understand there are many times move-up buyers and sellers have forgotten the process because it's been so long since their last real estate transaction.
We make the downsizing easy.
Once you get into the habit of working with us, the process becomes so smooth you won't mind to move.
We are also excited to share with you what all the Midlands has to offer.
Optimal time. Well, not again, but someone who is nearing retirement, they've probably lived in a few different homes and know what are the things they really want to include, the best of all of their living situations, or what to avoid.
Yeah.
They know the things that just drove them crazy in houses. But you could be in your 30s and have lived in 6 or 7 different places and kind of know this is what I really like, this is what I really want. So really I think it's more know thyself, meaning if you've lived in a bunch of different, for example, we just recently designed and built a house, and I wanted to make sure that my kitchen had good east light, had beautiful morning light. My compromise was fewer upper cabinets because I wanted to prioritize windows in that corner of the house. Okay. I also opted to not put where it would be really likely to have put a garage. I did not want a big structure blocking my east windows. I just didn't, so we didn't do that. And we have a carport instead. And luckily I live in a neighborhood where lots of people have carports, so it's not a big deal. We're not an anomaly. But I think a lot of people were like, you built a brand new home and you didn't put a garage on it? And I was like, well, if I ever want to enclose my carport, I can. Yeah. But I really like my light. And so, and that comes from having lived in a bunch of houses and knowing that I'm happiest in my kitchen when there's, great daylight in the morning, but also being frustrated in other kitchens that are very closed in. And so some people might have that for their bedroom. They want to have great or you might want great western light for the sunset in your dining room. So as much as we can use those site factors, I really like to. Yeah. And that's when it's really nice to not necessarily be in a neighborhood where all of the front doors have to be on one side and this has to face here, and it just lends itself to a certain layout it is pretty nice if you've got a piece of land and you can tailor it more so, and that's the beauty of a custom home. But as far as optimal age, I mean, obviously this is an expensive thing, so having funding helps. It helps make the challenges a little easier and just
the compromises, less compromise.
Yes, and I mean there will be compromise, but it may not have to be on something like the quality of hardware or something.
Yes. But when you're in the process of work and then you finish the design and the building process starts, are you still involved in the construction process at all? And if so, how?
Yes. I mean, if I've done my job perfectly and clients are, perfectly happy and it's all going together swimmingly, then we'll have no changes during construction. Sometimes people get into their framed house and they're on the second level and they're like, whoa, why don't we have a window here? And so we'll make changes, which are, all fair. Sometimes people, I'm trying to think of things that have happened. Sometimes, I don't know, you might run into a real challenge with the grade on a site, and where you thought you could easily cut into something, it's a whole bunch of rock. And so we might shift some things. And so I am, though my job schedule is more set up to keep working on new designs, and then they go out to construction, and I kind of watch them from afar. I get to see the daily updates. We have a great system in our office where I see daily construction photos and I can watch my little babies grow. But occasionally there'll be change orders, whether a client has changed their mind on something. I just bought this amazing dining room table and it's 12 feet long, and now we've got to expand the dining room if possible. So that happens. And another thing we do, our entire team, as the project is wrapping up in construction, we do, we call it a super walk. Our whole company, including, front office folks, we all go through the house with our list and some painter's tape, and we find as many flaws as possible before. And I mean, many homeowners come in daily and they're like, that's wrong, or that's scratched up, or I don't like that. But we do it as a team. We try to get ahead of that punch list. So we make an internal punch list that the project manager will then basically, depending on the list, they'll probably take a week or 3 or 4 days to hit it hard, all those items. Then they bring the homeowner in. They do a walk with the homeowner. They find anything that might be amiss, or, I don't like this is sticking, this drawer is sticking. And so then that's the client punch list. And then it's ready for like final closeout. So I would say we have a fairly high level of quality control. That makes me proud that, we're handing it off in the best possible way.
Yeah. So there must be something about the number 4 in the construction process of building a home, because George and I have been working for a client for about 18 months now. And this family's been looking for a rather large home, like 6,000 plus square feet. And they need 5 bedrooms. We have been flabbergasted
with how few
large homes have more than 4 bedrooms.
Yeah. Maybe it's the shrinking of the family size.
Yeah.
I mean, often we'll have a house that will have 3 to 4 bedrooms, and then the office that people will say, let's put a closet in there, even though my office doesn't need a closet, so that it can be a bedroom later. And let's make sure that there's an egress window in case this should become a bedroom later. I really think, like, if you're building a custom home, you sort of think, okay, well, I have 2 or 3 kids, I'm going to have a guest room or guest suite. And so, it really kind of depends on their needs, family size, how often they think they're going to have guests.
I just wanted to ask, because we've been banging our heads,
especially on the lake. Come on, this house.
Well, I think if you, and I don't know, maybe people tend to like large bedrooms, which sometimes astounds me, because it'll be folks that are empty nesters and they're planning on having their children come and visit them, whether their children have their own children yet or not. And so if it's just 2 actual bedrooms on that lake level with attached bathrooms, and then kind of a rec room in between, that's a pretty common layout. They want those bedrooms to be large. They want them to have the lake views, and have walk-in closets is also very common on the custom home side. People love storage, which I'm sure as a realtor. I'm sure people are always looking for the closets, and where am I going to store my stuff?
Where am I going to put my Christmas decoration?
Closets, cabinets, and use space.
Yes.
Use space, yeah.
Yes.
I don't have any more. Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, one last question. So, design trends right now. What are some of the things that people are, style wise, from the look and feel of the house inside out? What's kind of on point these days?
I mean, people love glass, and which I think it's amazing and great. I like to say I never met a wall that I didn't want it to become a window. So I just think natural light makes every space more pleasant, and you're likely to enjoy yourself there more. And then lately I've had a lot of clients and it's probably because they have these amazing sites. They want not only just a lot of windows, they want full length glass. It's a 7-foot tall glass door that's 12 feet wide. It's not good enough. It needs to be 8 feet tall with also, clear story lights above. So it's like glass, and more glass, which is great. Sometimes it poses some structural issues. I'll say like, well, we do have to have a header in there to keep that roof up. But there's also expensive glass systems. So I think people just need to know, sometimes to get the look that they see in a magazine or on Instagram or whatever.
There has to be realism within the budget to achieve that.
Exactly. Yes. Time and money is what we say. It
Yep.
can all be done with time and money. And then kitchens, a kitchen has always been a heart of the home, but people want their kind of formal kitchen where people will hang out, and then the prep kitchen is big. So it's more than just the prep kitchen is like in addition to a pantry space.
Yeah.
Which is, and then sometimes it's the actual kitchen, but it might have a double island in that there's a working island and then there's an entertaining island.
Okay.
So it's, just bigger, more, maximize the space that you're gonna have people over with, so.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you for being here. This has been very informative, and so we appreciate your time and good luck. Enjoy your work. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, well, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
I think, like anything else, it's a job, but I enjoy working in people's spaces and I very stumbling here, but it's people entrust us with their space and where they're going to live forever, so that's flattering for sure.
Well, you'll have to invite us out to one of your projects that you really get involved in.
yeah.
We'll have to give us a big tour, and we'll show it all on here.
Okay, we
Let
would
us
love
see
to do
your
that.
work.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Rachel.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy it.